At the launch of Overwatch 2, I released my Ana and Rank 2 GM, where I explained in detail what it is that you need to do in order to win with Ana. Someone on Reddit by the name of Artifacts criticized the video, saying that the only reason I am able to win games with my quote-unquote controversial way of playing Ana by doing damage instead of massively healing everyone is because I have good aim, good movement, and generally just a very high elo player. I decided to take Artifacts under my wing and personally coach him in Rank Up Academy, which is my academy that helps Overwatch players rank up and get the results they want and as fast as possible. So do not waste time, DM me on Discord about my academy. This is how it went. You're like as you said, you're an engineer, educated guy, numbers guy, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah, very much.
Okay. So the thing about the numbers and all the overthinking and the math is outside of what I preach, yeah? I teach very simple and practical. So I will teach you like you're a 5-year-old, okay? I don't want you to be thinking about numbers. I don't want you to be thinking about map win percentages. Yeah. What you're gonna do now is you're gonna go in game, you're going to stream Overwatch, you're gonna play. While you're playing, I'm going to be asking questions, I'm going to be talking, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. It might be not very pleasant because it's not pleasant when people talk in your ear while you're playing, but it's just for you. People can join the room and watch and learn themselves. That's why there are people in this room. Zeno is the editor, and I told you about it. He will record this, okay? Yeah. Just letting you know in advance. So how long have you been playing, by the way? What would you say like is an average rank?
Playing since release, really. Average rank, mid to high gold.
Shall we begin? Move to the right side of point, scope, so you can have an angle, like on main. Okay, I want to see more damage. Go. Pump some damage. Oh, you're dead. Do you agree with me that before you just died right now, if the Roadhog was slightly better, you would have been dead already on the right side? The right side of the point. Okay.
Yeah, the right side I definitely would have been.
Why that is?
Surrounded.
He was by himself. You were just too late to walk back. And the second thing, you were in the middle of the point the entire fight looking at a Kiriko. You exposed yourself to too many angles. You were out in the open, in an open space instead of using natural covering corners. If the enemies go back, you walk forward. 3 of them are dead, means they go back, you can walk more forward. What do you think about that, Nano?
Couldn't see the enemy right there. He was low, couldn't hit a shot, so I just went ahead and nabbed him to save him.
But the thing is, everyone was dead. Just remember that. That Nano wasn't instantly, and it could have helped you win that fight.
That was a guess.
Yeah. Same thing. Do you think if the enemies are better, would you die?
Probably.
Why?
There was 3 of them and 1 of me.
Yeah, but you were in front of them. Which means you were too far forward. What are you forgetting about? Good. You're nade. But if you threw it a little bit beforehand, you could have killed a chunk round. Okay, what do you think about this round?
Kind of a mess.
Be specific. Why do you think it's a mess?
Teams all over the place. Easy to flank around the pillar.
But why is it like a team thing? So why, if you feel like things are chaotic and there's no front line, you shouldn't be the person that is in the front line. Understand? If you see the enemies walking forward, you have to walk back. And how do you know they walk forward? You get surrounded super easily because you don't put yourself in a position before the fight to even look at them. You always, even before the fight, you want to deal damage. You scope, you shoot, you nade, just like you did like 3 fights prior to the last one. Like I told you, walk to the right side of point. And you saw where everybody's going.
That must sting.
Great nade, by the way. These nades are winning you these fights. Didn't have to walk to the middle of point. Absolutely zero reason for you to be in the middle of the point. So why did you walk to the middle of point? Like in your head, what were you thinking about there?
That was habit. Not a lot of point presence most of the time.
Yeah, but it's not your chop touch point, right? They need to cap.
Right.
You just need to support them. You're also right now in open space. There's no cover. What did you forget about this fight? Or forgetting about?
Nades.
Yeah.
EMP activated.
Canano, good.
Get in.
What are you forgetting about? Good.
No recovery. Pipe down.
Nice damage. Good job. What are you forgetting about?
Keep aiming. I keep you up.
What are you forgetting about? Start walking back. Try avoid dying if possible. Oh, sorry, you died. Why did you die there?
Didn't see the person on the right.
But everyone was shooting you from point. You were holding your scope for too long, right? If you hold your scope for too long and start shooting, eventually they're bound to shoot back, right? So it means you have to switch your angles. When your position is compromised, switch your angles. Forget about something, artifacts. By the time you use your nade and sleep one time, you could have used them 2 times. And also you were too open to get shot from that by the Hanzo, okay? Go push the Hanzo, go push the Hanzo on the right. Go, he's free shooting. I want you to shoot him when he's not looking at you. Okay, the Hanzo died. Notice the last fight, you didn't use your cooldowns. That's the first thing, right? I had to remind you. And the second thing, you were staying in the open space when you saw Hanzo there on the right stairs. He could have just peeked you and shoot you while you're scoping at them. So what you should have done is take an angle where he cannot see you. Where would be that angle? In the mini, where there's a wall covering you while you're still looking at point. What do you think about this game, Artifacts?
It was okay. I mean, I did not die very much. So
Yeah.
twice, I think, which is good.
But I'm gonna say though, you died twice, but it says more about them than it says about you because I counted at least 5 opportunities where they could have killed you if they were just slightly better. I want to talk about like what I wanted to work on and what I wanted to go with the next game.
Okay.
I repeated myself a lot of times telling you to use your cooldowns. I imagine if I wasn't sitting here, you would use your cooldowns on average 1 time when you could have used them 2 times. It's a lot. Every nade, every purple that you hit benefited you a lot in a team fight. It was ridiculous how much value you got because you do hit them. You take the time to aim and actually hit them and land them properly. Okay? Sometimes you miss, but everybody misses. But the thing is, I have to constantly remind you to use your cooldowns. When you have your cooldown, use your cooldown 1 time before the fight, if possible, 1 time in the fight. If you use it 1 time before the fight, they cannot push. So by the time they manage to push, you have it again. So it just kind of cycles through. Okay.
How does that change if they've got flank heavy or like dive comp?
So before you learn how to use your cooldowns properly, I want you to use your cooldowns in general. Okay. So let's say you use your cooldown constantly, right? But you see you get punished for it. You're like, okay, I use my cooldowns, the monkey jumps on me. That's where you should be starting to think, okay, I've used my cooldowns like Awkward told me to. Yeah. But I feel like I'm getting punished because the monkey jumps on me or the tracer just jumps on me because she realizes I'm using my cooldowns. That would be, okay, so next fight, I'm going to still use my cooldown, but one of them. I'm going to save the second one to defend myself from the person that capitalized on it, okay?
Okay.
But let's work step by step. I want you to be using your cooldowns. Doesn't matter against what comp you're playing. 1 time before the fight, 1 time in the fight. Before the fight is when they're walking through chokes, when they're rotating from point A to point B and from point B to objective. And the second thing, always put your shoulder against something that you can hide behind in case somebody pushes you. How do you feel about your first session?
Very interesting. Positioning is probably something I struggle with the most. So that's sort of a unique explanation with the opening and closing angles in a position. That I find like I want to latch onto that and give that a shot.
What about the cooldown usage though? Did you notice that you don't use your cooldowns very often?
Yeah. It's almost like I need a bell. A really loud bell when they come off cooldown.
It sounds very simple, but you see how eye-opening it is that I can just point out, well, you're just not using your cooldowns enough. Are you on the clear? What do you need to work on?
First off is just using the cooldowns. Second is staying in cover. And then
Next to cover.
Yeah, staying next to cover and then abandoning a position that's not getting value.
Amazing. This is what I want to work on for the week. Okay. Next time we meet, we'll see how you've improved.
All right.
Awesome. Was nice first session. Was nice to meet you.
Yep.
Definitely,
Great.
we can only go off from there.
Cool. So I've started thinking about the 3 things. The first thing you gave me to work on was the cooldown stuff. And I think of that as like hot potato cooldowns. Like, get rid of it. The other thing, of course, was keeping your shoulder at cover. And I simplified that to just cover, right? Your big thing is damage, right? So mine is cover, because I'm terrible at that. The third one you gave me is that you've got to move if you're not getting value, which means in your book, not getting damage. So damage, right? So there's the three things. The bad thing is that I tend to be dying more because I'm pushing up more than I used to. I used to sit back pretty comfortably because my aim is good enough. I can hit heal shots really easily. And yes, people are still tilting comically when I'm playing like this.
Well, that is Overwatch. But think about it like this. You know how people are trying to hold you back when you're doing better than them?
Yeah.
So you said your new play style, because you're trying to open up angles a little bit more, you end up dying more because people actually look at you because you damage them. Is that a good way to put it?
I'm drawing a lot more attention now.
This position generally is not a good position. You usually want to start on the high ground on the left, on the little platform to your left.
Okay.
Good hot potato. Artifacts, do you feel like your monkey needed that nade for healing? Even though you missed. Let's say you hit. Did he need it?
I was hoping there was someone behind here, but he wasn't fighting, so.
Yeah. Don't hope, see with your own eyes. Damage. Good. You almost killed somebody. Why? Because of that nade. And even if you don't kill, you delay their push. Hot potato. Great hot potato. Good job. Good nades. Good nano.
Whoa.
You're all good.
Aw.
It's okay, you're kind of stressed out, but you notice how, again, you were holding the same angle for a very, very long time. Because you went left, there's nowhere for you to back off to, but at least try to take someone with you before you die. Nice. Cooldowns. Great, fantastic. That cooldown, even though you used it fast, you have to make sure it's accurate. If you don't see anybody, don't use it, okay? You don't see him, don't nade artifacts. So, it does look better than last time, that's for sure. I still have to remind you about your cooldowns, but now another issue emerged. Even though you have your cooldowns and you want to use them on cooldown, like you said, hot potato, right? You actually have to make sure it hits. Because if you throw a nade and it doesn't hit, it doesn't get value. So a lot of the times you're trying to get rid of your nade, even though you don't really see anybody. You're trying to predict like they're there. Instead of predicting where they are, actually pick to see them.
Yeah.
Walk up from the right. Go right, top right. Yeah, try to get a widow, go. Don't overextend for it.
Oh,
okay, push them away. Go back.
Oh.
You overextended. The first push, you remember how I said push widow?
Yeah.
Push widow, I mean push widow, but don't overextend, yeah?
Okay.
You overextended by a lot.
Past that corner.
Your damage is good. This game, 10 minutes, 4,500. Pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Nade. Fantastic. A little bit too late, but still good enough. Try to be away from hook range. You're playing a little bit too close.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, you did a lot of damage, but you completely forgot about all the healing.
Yeah. Oh.
Why did you die?
I peeked too much AD stuff. It's easy to shoot me.
Yeah, but it's the same thing we talk about. Your position is compromised, but you still stay in that position. You can actually nano him, nano Genji. And sleep and didn't have to move. You notice because you moved, everybody was fighting and you were rotating.
Yeah,
you
everybody
can't
fell back and I fell down. That was really bad.
But it's not about that. It's about you nano. Genji's gonna go in. They're gonna be shooting him. You had to stay in your same position and nade and sleep and damage. You can't make rotations when you're supposed to be fighting. All right. Why did you lose artifacts?
Died way too much.
Why?
Tunnel vision, not keeping to cover.
I think the cover stuff was okay. It's not the reason why you died.
Stubborn and holding my position too long.
Yes. The number one reason of why you died is because you just took the spam damage because you repicked the same angle that was spamming. Number two, why you died. You dropped often from high grounds for no reason. Another
Maybe
reason
not
why
when
you
you
lost.
drop.
Your cooldowns didn't get a lot of value because you missed some of them because you tried to predict where they're gonna go, okay? And there was a lot of downtime in your play. Let's make a rule of thumb. Every time you nano somebody, you try to follow up with something else. Now, what I want you to keep in mind, one, no downtime. Second thing, if you use your cooldowns, make sure they land. Have a cooldown.
Yeah.
Look at, okay, that was okay. Good. You're forgetting to heal your Zarya. The damage mentality says do damage, but don't let people die. You have to help your Zarya.
Ah.
Tunnel vision.
Yep.
Tunnel vision and the Widow, you let your Zarya die too much. If your Zarya is dead, you will lose the fight 100% of the time.
Ah.
Why did you die?
Peek in the same corner.
It was okay to peek, you just didn't have to jump. Makes it very easy for a Widow to headshot you when you jump. You let your Bastion die.
Ah, damn it.
Don't jump, don't jump. If you stand here, Widow cannot shoot you. You see where, if you could still stand there, Widow cannot shoot you.
Land asleep.
The problem is you try to pick the Widow too much. If you lean and LOS her, you can do other things. You're forcing the fight instead of just LOSing her by using natural cover and the corners and geometry of the map. Good kill on the Mercy, really good, really impressive. Good kill. Nice shots on the Mercy, really good. You see, that's how you create an advantage. You let your Mei die there. You let your Sojourn die there. Help out your Zarya. You let your Zarya die. This was not the time for damage.
Thankfully, surprised no one's been complaining about my damage yet.
I'm complaining. No, the damage is
You
good.
would complain it's not high enough. They're complaining it's too high.
No, it's high enough. The problem is that you let people die. What do you forget about? They were standing 3 people together, you forgot to use your cooldowns. Although you won, so good job. The attack was fairly good, Artifacts. How the games have been going lately, Artifacts?
Up and down. Up and down.
3, 2, 1. Round 1.
Great.
Stand up straight. You're powered up. Get in there.
Damage. Shoot the fair.
I'm disappointed. Sonny.
Really good. Good off angle there.
That must stay.
Good timing. They're all gonna follow the Reinhardt. Good. Even more left, more left. Now you can't, more left, now we'll be back.
I'm under attack.
Get back in the back point, back point, back point, back point, all the way back point, all the way back point. Good. Almost at nano.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Really solid positioning at the end. Really good artifacts. Really solid positioning at the end, really good reactions, really good nade, really good sleep, everything. You kind of clutched this up at the end. It was very, very good. Good job. I like the off angle. I like the constant rotations with the movements. It's something that I definitely want to see you do more often. It's something that I feel like you're lacking in the gameplay. The rest looks good. The cooldowns, the positioning for the most part looks good. Pretty good overall. Like all in all, pretty good. Your mechanics also have improved. Like you hit better shots, you hit better nades, better sleeps. Looks good. I believe that your mindset could lead to both your success and your downfall. When Artifacts and I started working together, he was high silver and low gold on a good day. Now, he's able to consistently maintain his rank at plat at the very least. Initially, Artifacts said that the advice I give is bad, but when you dig a little bit deeper, you would understand that Artifacts just didn't believe in himself to be able to pull off what I am able to pull off. Now granted, we're in 2 different levels, but the advice could be applied for anyone. After working with Artifacts in Rank Up Academy, it changed his attitude completely, and this just goes to show that just a tiny change in attitude could lead to your growth. Once Artifact's mentality changed, he could see a lot of success in his games. Even though Artifacts has made a decent amount of improvement, there's still plenty of things that he needs to work on. He needs to polish his skills that he has learned. People always ask me and they think there's some sort of a secret sauce and secret move, 360 no scopes, blah blah blah. But the reality is, when you think about, let's say, boxing, people just master the same moves for decades until they become very good at it and they can beat their opponent with not a secret spinning kick, a spinning punch, but rather the most basic fundamentals. He needs to keep working on the most basic things that I taught him and master them. Then he will be able to see even more success than he already has. Join the academy, stop wasting your time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on socials. Have a great day everybody, or a great night, depends where you're from. Take care of yourselves. Peace.